Aida Jan, welcome to Agaheel, and thank you so much for inviting us to your studio here and being part of our show. Tell us about how you stay so close to your roots and to your origins. We know that you immigrated to the U.S. when you were about 12 or 13 years old, but you are so Iranian, so Persian, you love traditional music. Why don't you explain to us how you stayed so close to your roots despite living in the U.S. for such a long time?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for wanting to interview me. That's
Absolutely.
very generous of you. It's a pleasure to have you in our studio. I moved here in summer of 2000. I think I was 13 at the time, and I think at the time I didn't have a choice. And when we were making the decision to leave, it was my parents' choice to bring us here. They had lived in the States in the 70s themselves to go to school and finish their college, getting their education here. So it was a quality of life choice on their behalf to bring their children here to also have the quality of life that they had. And I think after we came here, I realized that as much as I was excited in Iran to come to the States, it sort of took away from the fact that I wanted to say goodbye when I left. I just sort of left being very excited to come to the States, and when I came here I realized I was uprooted. I didn't have any connections here. I didn't feel like anything made sense. It just didn't fall into place. It didn't feel natural. And after about a year, I realized that the only thing I loved to do was to play the Daff, because it made me feel like I knew who I was. I felt like I had an identity, at 13 or 14, and, Central Middle School, Eden Prairie, I wasn't really feeling like I belonged to any particular place, and playing the Daff every single day was what made me really excited. And I think that just led into me researching more my culture and my heritage and my background, and wanting to do more things that gave me knowledge of who I was. And it sort of carried through. I wanted to go back every single year to study more about the music and travel and ask my family about my background and my ancestors, and it turned into just being more and more interested all the time.
You got your bachelor's degree at the University of Minnesota, and you studied psychology and anthropology, and you recently moved to New York City, and you got your master's degree in Arts and Public Policy at Tisch School of the Arts in New York.
Yes.
Knowing that you are so passionate about music and traditional music, why didn't you ever study music at university level? Or did you ever think about studying music?
Absolutely, I did. I was actually initially a genetics major, but that was just because maths and sciences came really easy to me, so I did it. And I just figured that probably the next best thing to do education-wise is genetics, because that was on the verge of being big and it was rising tremendously. But after about a year of doing it, I realized how unconnected to it I was, and I just dropped a physics class and I took up a world civilization class and a literature class, and I just realized I'm going to live only once, so I should just make decisions to do the things that I really love to do. So I switched to anthropology and decided to take up psychology, because they both allowed me to research and do the things that made me still stay connected to Iran. So I could, for instance, at the time I was really interested in restrictions on the voices of female classical musicians in Iran. So I researched and interviewed a lot of women who had sang in Iran, who had left Iran and sang. Parisa was one of the people that I interviewed for that project. And I was just really interested in doing things and engaging myself in things that allowed me to be flexible in what I did. I definitely considered going to music school, but I was very much floored by how in the Western university education system there really isn't much room for international music. And I was very keen on the fact that I wanted to study Persian classical music, or to study it in Iran and bring it to Western universities. I didn't like the auditioning system, that if you want to get into university for music here, you have to be able to play Bach or Mozart, both of whom I love, and all the other Western musicians, but it wasn't something that I saw as a requirement for me to do the things that I wanted to do. So I think that was the main reason. And eventually I realized I would not have gotten the education that I wanted if I had gone to a Western university for music. As long as I did something like anthropology that actually literally afforded me the scholarship to go to Iran and study the music that I wanted to and bring it back, I was very happy.
When did you gain the confidence in your voice and actually decided to sing on top of playing the instrument that you were so good at?
It was very much a forced situation. I loved to sing, but I never liked singing in front of people. I could perform Daff in front of however many people you would put me in front of, but one summer when I had gone back to study with my teacher, we had a concert, and pretty much a week before the concert, he showed me the program, and he had put me in the program with a couple of sections where I had to sing. So I was done for. It was already in the program, and literally the first time I had to sing was at a concert in front of a whole bunch of people. And
Point of no return.
Point of no return. And I will never forget it. Ever since then, I feel like I became... It wasn't a matter of like getting over anything. It was just like I had to do it. And then after that point, it just became okay.
Who are the people who inspired you the most for getting into music in the first place? People who backed you up, other than parents and family, of course. Any particular people you want to thank?
Lots of people. My goodness, definitely my parents, because they listened to music so much when we were growing up. My dad had so much, Persian classical music. We were always listening to it. My mom, for sure. My mom is a huge supporter. I think my dad was always great in providing us with the resources, but my mom was always a supporter of doing the things that you really love to do. My teachers, of course, I think, Amir Samadi, who taught me how to play Daff, and honestly, I think he utilized his music teaching skills, including Daff, to teach me so much more. He taught me how to live life, I think, to appreciate beauty in life, and most of our sessions would be like 10 minutes Daff playing, and 50 minutes reading poetry, talking about Persian carpets, and speaking about philosophy, or all the different things that I feel like are huge parts of my life. Patty Saw, I think, initially for doing an interview with her for my project, and then taking some lessons with her in voice. Huge icon in a lot of ways. I loved how presentable she always is, and the fact that she believes in external beauty being a projection of your internal beauty, and I find her to be a very beautiful woman, beautiful Iranian woman. A lot of other people, not necessarily in the music scene, but friends, other teachers. I don't really believe in heroes. I think everyone is a hero, and everyone can be anyone's hero. I believe in the grandness of every single individual and every human being. My sisters are amazing. I think my older sister being an amazing, beautiful mom, I think that takes a lot of courage and effort and understanding raising a child, as I'm sure you know, with your wife and your children. And my other sister, Netta, she just ran the New York Marathon, and I find her very inspiring. So lots. I would go on and on. That's a dangerous question.
You have met the very talented Humayun Shajarian, the son of the master of classical Persian music, Mohammad Reza Shajarian, while he was here in a concert, I believe in 2007, with Mastan Group, and you even hosted them at your house. And it's overwhelming, I think, being a music artist yourself, having somebody of that tenor with such a background as Humayun Shajarian be with you, learn from each other. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that encounter and how that went?
It was great. I think I've been fortunate to meet a lot of really amazing people, and Humayun Shahghasemi was one of them. It was great. I think one of the things I've realized in my years of working as an artist and meeting different people is the normalcy of all human beings. I think, especially in our culture, there's this tendency of creating icons or idols that are not really realistic as far as who individuals are and, their own normal lives. And I think these encounters are great and becoming more familiar with the fact that they're just as much human as you are. So it takes the intimidation away. I don't think when I meet artists that I like or really enjoy the work of, I get intimidated by them so much that I'm just really curious as to what they do or how their creative process works, how they stay active in their discipline, and how they pursue growth and get better in what they do. I think Humayun Shahghasemi was great, but I think all the other musicians that were there were also fascinating. When we hosted them, Saeed Farajpuri was there, Hamid Mutabassem was there, Pejman Hamdadi was there. A lot of, I think, everybody has an amazing story, and it was a great pleasure to learn about how they got there and who they are today and what they're working for in the future.
Aida, you're also a great designer, and apart from being a great musician, a singer, you also recently learned the craft of clothing design, and your work is beautiful. I've seen your work, and you got into this new passion of yours recently. How did that endeavor start, and where is it going?
I honestly think that's also a reconnection with roots. I grew up with my grandmother, my great aunt, and all my aunts, including my mom. My mom made our clothes when we were kids. It was something we did as a bonding experience when we were growing up together, and I made my own clothes through teenagers, just not in an informed way. I guess recently I became interested in approaching it from a more systematic way when I was in New York. Maybe that was just it. I was in New York and I was so in the fashion scene that it became more of a pursued interest instead of just something that I did for myself. Part of it definitely was maybe the potential of extra earned income. That was another thing that made me pursue it a little bit more. But yeah, over the last year that I was in New York, so 2012, 2013, I worked with this amazing, incredible designer, Cosby, Cozbi. She was, again, another amazing human being that I met, and she kind of introduced me more to the industry and the craft of the fashion world and garment design. And what I loved about her was that she was very resilient and very rigorous in sort of delivering very perfect pieces of clothing that will stand time for 10 or 20 years. That some of the stuff that she has made have traveled through time very easily. They're very sturdy, very good, amazing pieces of clothing that have her signature on them for years to come. So she taught me a lot of staying true to the authenticity of your project. And I think that's not just something that I learned how to deal with in clothing, but how do you make a perfect piece of melody, or how do you make a perfect dish at night? How do you stay true to making it the most authentic piece of creation in its totality?
Well, Aida-jan, we're here to hear you sing. We're here to hear you play the Daff. Why don't you just surprise us, I would say, and we will step back and let you get to your work.
تو که ماه بلند آسمانی ستاره میشم کنار میشینم تو که ستاره میشی کنارم میشینی منم ابری میشم تو میگیرم تو که ابری میشی رو ما میگیری منم بارون میشم شرشر میبارم تو که بارون میشی شرشر میباری منم سبزه میشم سردم میارم تو که سبزه میشی سردم میاری تو که سبزه میشی سردم میاری منم یه گل میشم کنارت میشینم منم یه گل میشم کنارت میشینم منم یه گل میشم کنارت میشینم یه گل میشم کنارت میشینم کنار تو کنار تو کنار تو میشینم کنار تو میشینم
آیدا جان بذار یه سوالی ازت به فارسی هم بکنم. شما تا حالا در کنسرت هم خوندین هم دف زدین و عادت دارین به اینکه جلوتون مهمانانتون بیان و بشینن و 1 ساعت 2 ساعت حتی این کنسرت رو اجرا کنین. آیا تا حالا فکر اینو کردی که خوانندگی، نوازندگی این کار رو به عنوان حرفه‌ای انجام بدی برای همیشه و این واقعا شغل تو باشه در آینده؟
بوده راستش. من واسه 2 سال با 2 تا گروه موسیقی مختلف تور میرفتیم. کار من این بود که فقط در واقع موزیک بزنم، آواز بخونم. یکی از گروه فوک آمریکایی Iron and Wine که باهاشون کار بک وکال انجام میدادم، هم صدایی در واقع. و اون یکی گروه هم گروه مارکتر گلوبای موزیسین مال جمهوری چک هست که باهاش کار میکردم و به مدت 2 سال فقط کار من موسیقی بود. تصمیم خودم بود که در واقع خورده ازش جدا بشم، به خاطر اینکه هم سفرهای خیلی طولانی خورده سخت بود و دوم این که کلا یه خورده بیشتر دلم میخواست که واقعا تا اونجا که میشه ژانر موسیقی سنتی ایرانی رو بیشتر ادامه بدم و دلم میخواست خودم در واقع پروژه ها رو یه خورده تعریف کنم. احساس میکردم که پروژه دست من نیست، یعنی فقط دارم کار یه نفر دیگر رو براش انجام میدم. یه نکتهش هم میخورده کمبود احساس سخت بودن کار بود. یعنی من خیلی دلم میخواد احساس کنم همش یه پیچیدگی تو کار هستش که باعث میشه فکر کنم بیشتر بخوام خلاقیت به خرج بدم و متاسفانه خورده کم این احساس رو میکردم توی این سفرهای موسیقی. خیلی دوست دارم که این کار رو شاید به صورت جدی تر انجام بدم، منتها فکر میکنم بعد از 2 سال انجام دادنش توی موقعیت‌های خیلی تعریف شده خاصی دلم میخواد این کار رو انجام بدم. یعنی فقط اگر که موقعیت پیش بیاد که بگم بیا برو این کار رو بکن، نه احتمالاً، مگر اینکه بیشتر احتمالاً موسیقی ایرانی باشه و میگم خلاقیت یه خورده شاید بیشتر توش باشه. منتها واقعا همکار مارکتر گلوبا یه موزیسین خیلی خیلی عالیه که خیلی دوست داشتم باهاش کار کردن. انسان خیلی وارسته، خیلی خیلی مهربون، خیلی با محبت. چند تا از واقعا تجربه های خیلی خاص زندگی من بودن و خیلی مدیونم به هر 2 تا گروه واسه انجام این کار.
توی این چند سالی که شما میخوندین خب خیلی تجربه به دست آوردید، مخصوصا دور و بر کسایی که ایرانی نیستن و موسیقی ایرانی رو نمیشناسن و موسیقی سنتی ایرانی رو که اصلا نمیشناسن. به نظر تو برداشت کسایی که اطراف شما بودن، اطراف گروه شما بودن که ایرانی نبودن، این برداشت موسیقی سنتی ایرانی چجوری بوده و آیا فکر میکنی که آینده خوبی میتونه داشته باشه برای کسایی که در این مسیر برن و این کار رو ادامه بدن و حرفه‌ای در اون شرکت کنن؟
کاملا. من فکر میکنم که برداشت خیلی خوب بود، گرایش خیلی خوب بود، تشویق خیلی خوب بود. من با 2 تا گروه هم دف میزدم، هم یه چند تا آهنگ بود، خب کلا آواز ایرانی بود. خیلی استقبال زیاد بود واقعا. استقبال شاید در حدی بود که من حتی احساس میکردم من بعدم بخونم خیلی خوششون میاد و خب شاید بیشتر دلم میخواست که واقعا با افرادی یه خورده بیشتر باشن که اون حساسیت ایرانی و نسبت به کیفیت کار هم داشته باشن. میگم واقعا تشویق خیلی خیلی عالی بود و من همیشه مدیونشون هستم که انقدر دوستانه برخورد میکردن و واقعا هم علاقه. حتی شهرهای مختلفی هم که میرفتیم همه بعدش میخواستن بیان بپرسن دف چیه، از کجا اومده، تاریخچش چیه، یا اینکه مثلا کجا میتونن دف یاد بگیرن.
آیا این برداشت مثبت کار شما رو ساده تر میکنه؟ مثلا اگر جلوی یه گروهی بخونین که ایرانی نیستن و کارتون رو خیلی خوششون بیان و واقعا آفرین بهتون بگن، حتی به قول خودتون اگر خوبم نخونین، تا اینکه اگر جلوی شما یه گروه ایرانی نشسته باشه که صدای خوب میدونن چیه، موسیقی خوب میدونن چیه، آیا این کار شما رو مشکل تر میکنه به نظر شما؟
چه سوال خوبی. هم سخت میکنه هم آسون میکنه. مثلا خب من فکر میکنم یه چیزی که توی یه مسئله که توی کار هر هنرمندی وجود داره اینه که توی بخشی از مسیر زندگی بعد با این کلنجار برن که واقعا چقدر از کارشون بر اساس آدینسشونه، بر اساس بیننده هاشون، شنونده هاشونه و چقدر از کارشون به خاطر عشقیه که نسبت به انجام دادن اون کار دارن. و این خوندن به عنوان مثال واسه شنونده های ایرانی و یا شنونده های غیر ایرانی دقیقا این سواله رو خیلی شفاف میکنه. من فکر میکنم که هر کدومش هم خوبی های خودشو داره هم بدی های خودشو داره. من خوندن واسه شنونده های ایرانی رو خیلی دوست دارم به خاطر اینکه عموما شعر برای من خیلی مهمه و من احساس میکنم که مثلا یه قطعه‌ای که دارم میخونم خب دارم کاملا با شنونده ها ارتباط برقرار میکنم، چون اونام همون کلام رو میفهمن و یه درک خیلی همگانی بین من و شنونده ها وجود داره. بعدی شاید تنها این باشه که خب بدی هم نیست واقعا، استرابی خورده بیشتر میشه مسلما. اینی که بعد فکر کنی راجع به این که خب قطعه ها رو کاملا باید درست بخونی که امیدوارم جلوی شنونده های غیر ایرانی هم همیشه همینجوری باشه. منتها خب یه خوبی که شنونده های غیر ایرانی دارن اینه که به ملودی خیلی بیشتر توجه میکنن. مثلا ارتباطشون با فقط کیفیت نوا، کیفیت صدا، کیفیت احساسی که داره از توی فقط اون آوازی که شنیده میشه خیلی راحت تر میتونن با اون ارتباط برقرار کنن، در صورتی که با یک گروه شنونده فارسی زبان یه خورده سخته که آدم توجه به کلمه ها نکنه، فقط توجه به صدا بکنه. یعنی تو همیشه داری ارتباط برقرار میکنی با اون مفهومی که داره ارائه میشه توی شعر. و خب بدیهی هم که با شنونده های غیر فارسی زبان وجود داره اینه که همون مثلا من ممکنه بیت دوم یه شعر حافظ کاملا اشتباه بخونم ولی به به و چهچه ترش هم هست. و اون در واقع آتنتیسیتی، اون صداقتی که شاید با یه گروه شنونده ایرانی وجود داره توی شنونده غیر فارسی زبان وجود نداره.
Jan, thank you once again so much for having us here over at your studios. In closing, any words of wisdom, any advice for younger musicians who look up to you? I'm sure there are some younger girls and boys who look up to you who would like to, why not? Any acknowledgements, anything that you like?
Oh gosh, follow your dreams. Do what you love to do. I think it's great to have dreams in life, and don't ever let anything take it away. I know life circumstances can be hard sometimes, but believe in them to the best of your ability, and the support will definitely come. Sometimes it seems inevitable and impossible, but it isn't. Nothing is impossible. Dream big and go for it. It will happen. I would like to thank you all for being here and making this possible, and the really wonderful community in Minnesota. It's so refreshing to be back after 4 years of absence. It's amazing how closely tight the Iranian community here is, and it's awesome and amazing, because for the 4 years that I was in New York, I didn't really hang out with any Iranians. But it's nice to be back in a very loving and receptive and affectionate community of Iranians. So thank you so much for having such a warm welcome for me. It's really not taken for granted. Thank you.
Well, we want to welcome you back and keep in touch with us. And it was an honor to be here today and to hear you sing, hear you play. And I hope that we cross paths again in the future, and that we form a tight network with you and also with the rest of the Iranian community here in Minnesota, as you said. And once again, thank you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
خیلی لطف کردیم. ممنون از آجیل، ممنون از جمعیت ایرانی مینسوتا که همه خیلی خیلی مهربونن، خیلی مهمان نوازن. بعد از 4 سال برگشتم به مینسوتا، من خیلی خوشحالم که اینجام با دوستان قدیمی، دوستان جدید. خوشحالم که همه رو دوباره میبینم، با دوستان جدید آشنا میشم. مینسوتا خیلی سرده، منتها دل آدماش خیلی گرمه و من خوشحالم که پیش شما هستم. بازم از آجیل تشکر میکنم برای انقدر مهمان نواز بودنشون و اینکه با آغوش گرم از من دعوت کردن که در برنامهشون شرکت کنم. برای دوستانی که مایل هستن بیشتر کار ما رو بشنون، ما 14، 15 و 16 مارچ در اینترمدیا آرتس یه شو داریم از طرف پنجیا ورلد تئاتر که جای هستش که من براش کار میکنم. فکر میکنم میشه جمعه، شنبه و یک شنبه، جمعه و شنبه ساعت 7:30 شب و روز یک شنبه ساعت 4:30 بعد از ظهر تشریف بیارین، ما رو خوشحال میکنید. اگرم که دم در فارسی حرف بزنید بهتون دیسکاونت میدیم. And for all the English speakers, thank you so much for tuning in to Ahjeel. I really appreciate Ahjeel's efforts for collecting information and talent and introducing the Iranian culture and community to the world. It's a great project, and I'm happy to be a part of it, honored to have been invited by Ahjeel to participate in this amazing project. And happy birthday, Ahjeel, by the way. It's great. 1-year anniversary. I'm honored to be premier guest of the 2nd year, I guess. If you would like to hear more of my work amongst a couple of really other amazing artists here in the Twin Cities, we have what's called Rozane, a Sufi project, which is coming up as a part of a project from Penjia World Theatre, which is where I work. We will be presenting this show on March 14th, 15th, and 16th at Intermedia Arts. Friday and Saturday, 14th and 15th, it's at 7:30 p.m. and on Sundays at 4:30. Please join us for a night of Sufi thought and poetry and Iranian music, Indian music, and all sorts of amazing fun things. Thank you so much. It's been a blessing.
you.